Welcome to SkyPodcast. Watch out for a new episode every Saturday.
Can I imagine myself doing this for the rest of my life?
Is this really the right path for me? Eto na lang ba for the rest of my life? Hindi pwedeng, I'm not happy with where I am right now, but for the rest of your life, what if lang?
I'm gonna look back and regret this if I don't say yes.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. What's with the Very strange. Okay, today we have a letter from the sky, guys. And sobrang weird ni Slater today. Yung title niya is Time to Quit. So sabi niya, Dear Slater and Kryz, I'm reaching out to you as a Sky Fam fan for guidance and advice regarding a significant decision I am contemplating. Whether it is the right time for me to resign from my current job. There are several factors weighing my mind, and I would greatly appreciate your insights. Firstly, I'm experiencing separation anxiety with my baby, and I feel like my current work commitments are hindering my ability to spend quality time with my child. Secondly, I find myself feeling increasingly lost and unfulfilled at work. As part of area management, I'm often called upon to temporarily fill in at branches that are lacking in manpower, which leaves me feeling like I'm a mere replacement rather than a valued member of the team. Lastly, I have a deep-seated passion for culinary arts, and I have long harbored a childhood dream of attending a culinary school. However, my current position as an officer has left me feeling trapped in my comfort zone, unable to pursue this dream. As I weigh these factors, I find myself torn between the desire for stability and the longing for fulfillment and personal growth. I understand that resigning from my job would entail significant challenges and changes and uncertainties, but I also believe that it may be the necessary step towards aligning my career with my passions and priorities. I'd be immensely grateful for any advice or perspective you could offer on this matter. Your experiences and insights as fellow parents, entrepreneurs, and individuals who have pursued their dreams with courage and determination would be invaluable to me as I navigate this decision. First of all, gusto kong sabihin, napaka-well-written ng letter niya. Gets na gets ko lahat ng gusto niya sabihin kasi she was really able to articulate.
No.
Diba? Ang galing.
Alam mo anong ginagawa ko ngayon?
ChatGPT?
Alam mo yung pag-ayusin ko kasi, my English is not to the level of yours wherein like eloquent ako mag-English.
Or this letter sender. Ang galing.
Oh, galing. So what I do is like, I paragraph, and rough like it's like a hack job. And then, lagay ko sa ChatGPT, please improve my writing.
Oh my gosh, this is like teaching kids
it
a hack.
really works. Like, hindi ako sponsored by ChatGPT, pero nagbayad ako ng ChatGPT 4. And it's like, from the free version of 3.5, yung 4, ibang level. Ang talino, ang galing. It's like I have my own personal writing assistant.
Galing. Copywriter.
Oo.
Ano yung thoughts mo about the letter that she wrote about quitting her job?
Ang dami kong mga experiences and I can relate to this a lot because itong mga career choices natin, it's almost as important as finding the person who you want to marry. For me, there was a time wherein I was feeling so lost at work na I decided to join PBB. And after PBB, I made a pivot again to go back into the construction industry. Pero this time with a different angle naman. So ang dami kong mga masasabi when it comes to this. And I think a lot of insights. What about you?
Same, but I want to ask you to go back to your story first.
Yes.
You mentioned that you were feeling lost at the first job that you had, which was working for your dad at a construction firm,
Yes.
basically. We all know that feeling na, you feel like you're unsatisfied, you question yourself, is this really the right path for me? Eto na lang ba for the rest of my life? Di ko alam kung na-feel mo ba na walang growth or kung ano ba talaga na-feel mo. But walk us through it. Like, how did you feel exactly, emotionally, and what made you decide na, hey, it's time to change career paths? Because that's a big decision to make.
Well, for me, I've been feeling lost for a long time. If I were to recall, maybe like years ago. But I was feeling lost for a very, very long time. Na parang, paulit-ulit na lang ginagawa ko. I work in the mornings and then in the afternoon. There's no substance or passion or wanting to improve. I was recently talking to our team and I'm so proud of our light panel team. They're so very well motivated. And I actually told them this. You know what I love about this team? We can have the same 8 hours in a day. But some people just go in to clock in lang talaga. Time in, time out, and then I'm done. I did my job. Yung sa kanila kasi, there's more to it than that. There's like, I want this to improve. I want myself to improve. You can feel the passion. So whenever you're working with people like that, when you give good suggestions and then it's reciprocated na, Sir, matrabaho to pero gawin natin to kasi ang ganda nito. Iba yung cycle of energy na binibigay. And if you can't give that in your job, imagine doing that for the rest of your life. Diba? Parang maghanap ka na ng bago.
I feel like
Where-
when that happens, you're doing a disservice to the company that you're working for and also to yourself
Yes.
because you're not being motivated or fulfilled by what you're doing.
Oo, ang hirap for you to climb that ladder, to excel at your job if you don't feel that same passion. So it's not just about, yung company naman yung magbe-benefit from this, but it's also you. If you're feeling passionate about the job that you're in, for me, a lot of the things that I do is a lot of hard work, pero at the end of the day, hindi na uubos yung energy ko.
Yeah.
Because I can truly feel that I love what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I see that in the people that work for us, kung sino yung na-energize when it comes to where we're taking the company, when we close a deal, when we go through a breakthrough. Nakikita mo kung sino yung, yes, kasama ako dito.
Yeah.
And sino din yung, okay, good.
Alam mo, I want to ride that thought because gets ko talaga where you're coming from. Parang as an employee, kung hindi ka ganado to work, nafe-feel yun yung energy mo sa lahat ng tao na katrabaho mo,
Yes.
especially your bosses.
Yes.
They feel it if you're just there for the ride or if you're really passionate and you want to give your all for the benefit of the company. Kung feeling mo din na wala kang growth sa company, ang hirap din for the boss to give you that growth if they feel that you're very unmotivated or unwilling to perform.
Yeah.
But if the boss sees na, oh my gosh, this kid is performing above and beyond, it's easier for the boss to give you more avenues to grow and more opportunities to grow kasi nakikita nila na nasa yun na yun, di ba?
Yes. Gusto ko lang lagyan ng caveat because there are a lot of institutions also, and sometimes maybe me as a boss, may mga limitations din. Maybe we don't see these types of things. Maybe we don't see that, for example, ina-assign ka and then you're not being able to do a better job at, let's say for example, area manager siya. Tapos nilalagay siya on a local level to act as a
Replace.
backup. So parang hindi ka makakatrabaho talaga ng maayos kasi you're being pulled in several different directions, di ba? So there are instances wherein it's the environment. Sometimes it's the boss themselves, medyo hindi lang as skilled or may mga problema talaga. Pero there are all these other factors. So from an employee standpoint, ito yung palagi ko sinasabi sa kanila. A lot of it is not your control. But there are also some of it that is very, very much under your control if you are willing to take initiative. Like, for example, if you feel that, give it a chance na erase mo sa boss mo. Baka kasi hindi nila nakikita. So at least there's that unfair din sa boss mo na hindi niya alam to. And hindi siya nabigyan ng chance to fix it. If that is your main complaint. If wala pa rin nangyayari, ay kasalanan na yun ng boss mo. Similar to, let's say for example, an employee is underperforming. Kasalanan din ng boss if hindi niya pinapaalam muna sa employee na yun. So at least the employee has a chance to right
Better.
themselves or to see things that they hindi lang talaga nila nakita beforehand. So I think that's one direction you can take it. If you feel like there's pwede pa tong masave, that is something that you can do.
Pero ibalik natin sa story mo. How did you realize na ito na yung turning point? When were you able to make that decision na ayoko na talaga, I'm gonna do PBB?
The PBB was a very parang stroke of luck lang din siya. Na I was feeling a certain way and then I was given an opportunity to explore other avenues wherein sabi ko, this is going to be challenging. This is going to be a lot of growth from me, from being an engineer to a posibleng magiging artista. So, ang laki ng transition, but I felt like, ang naisip ko when it came to that opportunity was, I'm gonna look back and regret this if I don't say yes. Because parang at least matry out ko man lang. Ini-imagine ko like, for the next 10 years, I'll be doing the same thing, or for the next 10 years, magre-regret ba ako na hindi ko nagawa to? And that is actually the argument din na sinabi ng dad ko sa akin. Sabi niya, I don't want you to look back at your life and blame me for not allowing you to join PBB.
Yeah.
But remember that you can always go back if it is not for you.
Yeah.
I think in life, ang daming mga decisions. A lot of the decisions that we make, we feel like are so final. But merong mga pintuan in the decisions that we make that are two-way doors na pwede kong pasukin, pwede naman akong bumalik.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, if you feel that that is the case, you can take that risk.
Yeah.
Because pwede ko i-decide to, and then balik ako na, hey, it's not for me pala, pero at least na-try ko.
Yeah.
Meron ding mga decisions wherein one-way door lang talaga. And those are the decisions that we need to dwell a lot on. Like, the people we marry. Itong mga career choices, pwede kasing, you already have that skill set eh. So, pwede kong lilipat ako, pero just in case, I still have that skill set na may hassle lang na hanap ako ng iba or maybe come back to this. But at least, you don't live the rest of your life feeling as if you haven't pursued your passion.
Oo, ang hirap din na for the rest of your life, what if lang. Tapos never ka gumalaw.
Yes.
I think that's also one thing to be really proactive about your life because it is what's gonna bring you happiness or misery for X more number of years until you die, di ba? So,
Yes.
hindi pwedeng, I'm not happy with where I am right now, but hayaan ko na lang. Kasi if hayaan mo, yun na talaga forever. Hindi ka talaga maging happy.
Yes. I think also what is helpful was to understand na unahin talaga natin yung mga life plans natin before the business plan, the career plan. Unahin natin anong nakikita natin that would really move me forward when it comes to the life that I want to live. Magkaiba tayo ng gusto sa buhay.
Yeah.
Some people are okay with working so hard as long as they get rewarded. Meron ding iba na I just want enough to get by kasi I want my free time as well. So, at least alam natin yung general direction natin because we cannot have it all.
Yeah.
Kung gusto talaga natin to be as successful as we can possibly be, there are commitments and sacrifices that has to be made. When it comes to time, when it comes to health, may mga binibigay tayo. When it comes to the proper education, gusto ba talaga natin na to the level of alam ko tong lahat na to, so ang dami kong mga kailangan gawin, or all these things.
May kapalit. Ibig
May
niya
kapalit
sabihin.
talaga.
Oo.
For example, culinary. Hindi lang kasi nasabi na if I want to start a business or I want to be in that space. But isa din to na advice. Adami advice. My dad, when I was starting out, sabi niya, the biggest mistake that most people make is that when they decide to change career path or meron sila offer for a job abroad or let's say I want to start a business, tinatalon nila agad. When in fact, it could have been done smaller scale so that the commitment and that fear isn't as much. So for example, if I wanted to start a culinary thing, let's say, gusto ko naman may maliit akong restaurant. Hindi ako kailangan na mag-quit ng job and then maggagawa ng restaurant. I can do that on the side. I can do that as my extra free time muna so that I have money coming in to support my daily needs and then to support that passion as well. Diba? Pwede naman akong join muna ako ng fair to see how people respond to what I'm doing, to see if they like what I'm cooking, and all of these other things. And then now I have the enough confidence to say, hey, I can actually make money out of this. Pwede na ako mag-quit.
Yeah.
Diba? So, dahan-dahan siya instead of talon ako and then, yun pala, although I love culinary might not love me.
Yeah.
Diba? And makikita ko, I love the cooking part, pero hindi ko pala gusto yung other
Business
side of the
side.
business. So, ang daming mga aspects na nawawala because you've already tried it out at a very, very low risk and slow scale.
You also get to know yourself more. Because sometimes things are parang rose-colored sa imagination
yes.
natin na, di ba, the grass is always greener. Like, you and I always joke about, let's move abroad, let's live life abroad. Okay, ang ganda ng park nila, ang ganda ng weather nila, mga ganong things. Pero when you're there, hindi mo talaga malaman how life is until nandiyan ka na, di ba?
The loneliness of being away from the family.
So many things, so many factors. And all of the people that we've spoken to about it always tell us both sides, the good and the bad. But you don't know the bad unless you try it. So when you try it paonte-onte, kesa mag-jump ka agad,
yes.
it's easier on you also to really decide what you want.
Yes.
And it puts things into perspective na, okay, let's say she wants to pursue culinary but it's business. Eh yung business, hindi yun 9 to 5. 24 hours yun.
Yes.
Si Slater, laging busy yung head niya the whole day. That's also something to consider na, okay, you thought that having a business would free up your time so you can spend time with your baby, but turns out, oh my gosh, it's taking more of your time. So, di ba, some things like that to consider lang din.
Yeah. At least you get to see all the angles. Ikaw, love, have you ever had experience wherein ikaw talaga yung parang, quit na ako, it's not for me. I think you had a similar experience also.
I did. I think it was in my early 20s when I started to work for publication. In my head nga, was very, parang, this is the goal, this is the dream, it should be like this when I work there. And then when I got to that job, ay, hindi pala. I mean, it's always like that, right?
Yeah.
It's not always 1 + 1. It's not always kung ano yung iniisip natin, yun na yun.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of things that weren't synced with my dream. And I think I was so immature at that time that I wasn't able to, first of all, I didn't really know myself. I didn't really know what I wanted. I just, parang na-imagine mo lang yung life in the movies na, okay, working for this publication would be like this. And then it didn't turn out that way. I didn't have the self-confidence to talk to my boss, raise my concerns. There are so many things that I felt, but I didn't know how to express it. And I didn't have anyone to ask for advice, nor did I have the maturity at that time to think that I needed advice. Diba? Because when you're young, it's always about you. Like,
You don't know what you don't know.
Oo,
essentially.
parang now looking back, there were so many mistakes on my part and I could have fixed that easily. You know, spoken to people, asked for advice, pero parang hindi ko naisip na there's something wrong with me. Naisip ko lang there's something wrong with the job.
System, yes,
or the
and everything
system.
else, yeah.
And lahat lang naisip ko is ways to hack the system, which is wrong. Diba? So now looking back, parang, oh gosh, I wish I had that maturity or I wish I listened to someone or someone could have advised me on steps moving forward. Kasi parang feeling ko I really handled that wrong. Now looking back. Yeah, it was a terrible job and for me, hindi kami match. But also, I could have done things better. And my decision at that time was just to stop. But, you know, it's different because I come from this very privileged position.
I listened to this TED Talk and nag-resonate siya because I've said this nga in the podcast and parang nag-connect siya. A question that I ask myself all the time is, can I imagine myself doing this for the rest of my life? So when it comes to major decisions in my life, that's kind of like what I ask. Can I imagine being with you for the rest of my life? Wow. Or there's this career path that I'm on. Nakikita ko ba na I'll grow old with it?
Yeah.
In that TED Talk, sinabi niya, the thing that most people miss is that we don't think about it in decades. We think about getting our achievements in 1 year, 2 years, but we always overestimate what we can do in a year, but underestimate what we can do in decades. So I'm in it for the long haul. There was this book that I was reading. Imagine doing a career or a business wherein you're always thinking of stepping out or benta ko na to or changing career directions. It's kind of like riding on a highway pero you're always at the side of the freeway at any time na
Exit ka.
mag-e-exit ka. Iba yung pace mo kaysa sa alam mong dito talaga ako pupunta. Go full speed ahead.
Yeah.
So I can commit every single thing about it. I'll learn more about it because I know that I'm going to be doing it for a long, long time. So the industry-specific skill set.
That's really nice. A nice insight, love. If you don't give this career path, a chance, parang it will take you longer to hone all of these skills kasi you're jumping from one thing to another. Hindi ka nakafocus, di ba?
Ang insight ko lang din is, you mentioned this a little earlier, na titingin ka ng social media posts, titingin ka ng mga kaibigan mo, parang ang dali lang ng ginagawa nila. Parang asaya. I want to try that. And then, parang you get pulled in all these directions, sinitikman mo lahat, pero wala kang staying power. So, I get tempted by this a lot. A lot of opportunities come my way. Slater, negosyo tayo ng solar. Slater, negosyo tayo ng tubig. Slater, negosyo tayo ng ganito, ganyan. It's kind of like a career path in a way wherein at the end of the day, what made me stronger in the fields that I'm in is just having the power to say no. Ito na lang talaga ang gagawin ko until I can say that I have succeeded and it's running on its own. Na for the foreseeable future, I will say no to everything else. And just by having that mindset is like, I've said no to all the other opportunities. Now it's time to focus and put that energy into a few very specific things.
And see where it will take
me. Yeah. Kasi some business owners parang, and I was kind of like this when I was starting. Negosyo tayo nito, I make a little bit of money. And then I now have a different opportunity. Dito na naman. And then like you end up with a lot of other paths. And now, parang yung focus mo is all over the place. And ang tanong lang is, what is better? just your complete attention. What is easier? Just your complete attention on one specific thing, or you're looking at all these other things as well. You can grow that one thing very, very well if you just put 100% focus kaysa sa 20% here, 20% there, and then like you're all over the place.
Yeah, that's true also. If you give your skills in small doses to a lot of people, it's hard to grow kasi you're only giving a little. But if you give a lot of yourself to one thing, it's so much easier for that thing to grow because you're harvesting so much time and energy.
Maganda din siguro, this is a conversation I had with one of our employees sa Light Panel. She was thinking of taking it easy. Kaya parang na-stress na daw siya. We're going through something sa department niya. Siya mismo magaling na worker. Magaling na employee and have been with us for a long, long time. Tapos lumapit siya sa akin, "Sir, I feel like I'm overworked and this is what I'm feeling." Tapos sabi ko sa kanya, you know what, the overwork part, as long as you have my support, hindi siya issue eh. I just need to know that you're having a problem with the overwork part. Meaning, you are capable and you are in a managerial position. Let me know and we'll find systems or we'll hire people under you to support you. We digested what part of that she was having a problem with, and she was able to move forward from that. Like parang, okay, maybe I'm assigning you too much, but you have to let me know. Kasi there are many other moving parts in a company na kailangan ng attention. So I can't be always tutok sa'yo. So as long as you give me an insight, as long as you let me know na may problema ka dito, and I know that this is coming not just because you're lazy. Alam kong totoong nahihirapan ka. Tara, supportaan natin. Hanapan natin ng paraan together. And I think similar to this, pwede mo talagang lapitin, "Sir, I can't do my work as an area manager if I'm always having to back up all these things. I cannot look at it from a bigger perspective if kulang tayo ng tao nito. So, pwede ba hire ka ng someone under me and then siya yung pang-backup natin." Or, di ba, assistant area manager or whatever. So, there are always systems that can be done.
Yeah.
And, like, I always put the standard to the crazy successful people in that field. And like, hey, there are other people that are bigger in terms of their company and all these things, in terms of their career, in terms of the managerial position. And they're able to achieve that. How do they do it? So it's a possibility. So tanungin lang natin sarili natin, what do we need to do so that we're on that level also? Ano bang mga kailangan natin? A lot of people carry a lot of workload. What systems are they using? How do they delegate? How do they... It's like...
I think one of the things that we can change is really our mindset. And this is me talking to myself when I was younger. Kasi I looked at the job as if it was me versus the job. But we can change our perspective and make it me with the job, me and the job. And I'm not alone in this. And hindi ko kontra yung place where I'm working. I can actually work with them and row the boat together. And most likely, the people in your workforce, if you're lucky, will help you because they want to row the boat together.
Yeah.
Diba? Efficiently. Kasi me before, parang it was just all about me. Hindi ko naisip yung together tayo in this and we can actually help each other out with this.
Yes.
Diba? So parang if I just had that mindset shift na I can ask for help and I can talk to my boss to make this better for me, or even my coworkers, then it would have been better yung situation.
In reality though, there are a lot of companies that are very, very good to work for. But there are also companies na, alam mo talagang like parang dead-end job, wala talagang papuntahan,
the boss won't listen to you, walang pake.
Ang hirap ng kausapin ng whoever's managing you, all these other things. So, para sa if you have a hard time and you can't deal with the culture and everything else, yun yung masasabi kong lipat ka na lang. Hanap ka ng iba.
Culture is so important, love, no? You always tell me this.
Oo. So, sobrang importante. Like, I would say, just because we have a good culture, it still doesn't fit everybody. Because our culture is different from everybody else. Just like in any tribe or any family or in any country, iba yung style of doing things. Baka hindi swak sa'yo yung style dun. And gusto mong mag-explore ng other avenues. For example, in our culture, importante sa amin na non-stop kaming, this is like panel, non-stop kaming nag-i-innovate at nag-tweak. So, it's always a given that we never stop tweaking and we never stop working for...
Improvement of the product.
Yes, kasi it feels as if we're just making panels all day long. Pwede siya paulit-ulit lang talaga eh. Routine and structure and ganyan. In our company, the disadvantage of that is we're always tweaking the structure. Ngayon, iba na naman yung idea. Next week, iba na naman. Some people, hindi rin nila kaya yung ganyan. Gusto nila yung, okay, this is what I have to do and this is what I have to follow and day in, day out, I like the structure. I like to be this. Meron din iba na gustong-gusto naman yun, na naboboard sila na paulit-ulit yung trabaho. It's finding the right fit.
Parang naghahanap ng barkada.
Yan. Again, pwede, you can use the rule of thumb na, can I see myself here for a long period of time? Can I see myself having a family and growing my family because of the job that I'm in? Like parang ma-enjoy ko. Kasi I feel like one of the things, especially when it comes to parenthood, na if your job does not fulfill you, pagdating mo sa bahay, galit ka, stress ka.
You're not motivated.
Oo, makikita yun ng anak mo, ng asawa mo, and that will leak into your life.
Yeah, it's true. During the pandemic, when Slater didn't have much work, I could see and feel your energy na hindi siya maganda. Parang, hindi rin ako namomotivate sa'yo. Ikaw, hindi ka rin namomotivate. Kaya wala kang ginagawa. Eh, yung personality ni Slater is very... Kailangan may ginagawa siya. Kailangan may iniisip siya. May innovate siya. Kailangan nag-grow siya everyday. Now, he's so busy. I rarely see him, but I feel his energy, di ba? And I always tell you that it's so inspiring to see, and I'm so happy that you
Grabe
found...
naman yung rarely see me.
I mean, it's not like before na pandemic na 24/7 tayo makikita pero hindi kita na-feel. Parang ghost box. Parang iba. You were a different person because I felt that energy from you. And now that I see you just at night lang or in the day before you leave for work, I feel your energy more and your presence. And you're so motivated when you get home, dami mong kwento. Ganun lang yun, di ba?
Alam mo yung pagod ka from working out and then pero alam mong pagod ka pero you're okay pa rin. That's kind of like that when you find your passion or the thing that you feel like you're good at. So ito yung mga topic natin dati na finding your ikigai. Oo, di ba? So,
or like ako, lagi ako nagko-complain, di ba? Like, dami kong ginagawa, I'm so stressed. Eto, but every time you see me, nag-work pa rin. Parang ayoko pa rin i-give up kasi na-enjoy ko siya.
Yes. I think it's finding that thing and knowing na no matter what industry that is, meron talagang things in that space that will make you hate it. Hindi talaga siya kumpletong-kumpleto. When it comes to our developments, gustong-gusto ko yung architecture side, designing it, and everything else. There are a lot of things also na I don't want to deal with. Mga accounting, law terms, contracts. Ito talaga yung hindi ko forte. Pero I need to learn and I need to Pero itiis ko kasi alam ko it serves for the bigger vision and the bigger purpose of what I'm trying to accomplish.
Yes.
So it's kind of like that. You kind of like take the good with the bad.
Exactly.
It is a journey. I think it takes a while for you to get there. But the best way for me, if I were in that position and I were to do it again, is always do things without jumping from one thing to another. It's more of like, I'll try this out first. Okay, this is the best option for me right now, but I feel like hindi pa to, it's not it eh. So I'll try other things, but I don't give up on the core of what I already have running because it gives me an opportunity to step back and to think of it from a longer term perspective because I'm secure. Alam kong no matter what happens, meron akong stability. So I'll try this out, I'll try that out. Kanina I was mentioning, I took a jump from construction to PBB. Yun talaga, kailangan ng talon kasi PBB, wala kang trabaho inside Kuya's house. But after that, I was doing, being an artista, may mga show, people clapping and everything. But I felt like I see my fellow artistas. They're so passionate and they love what they do. But I cannot dive. I could not commit fully talaga. When I'm on stage, people are clapping and everything. I appreciate it, pero parang
doesn't fulfill you as much.
Kulang siya eh. And nakikita ko yung mga kasama ko na they love what they do. They go over their script over and over again kasi gusto nila ma-embody yung character and everything. Sa akin naman eh parang, I have to memorize this Tagalog pa. Yung parang ganyan yung ko. So parang feeling ko, I cannot imagine doing this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It doesn't speak to me and I can compare myself na it doesn't give me the same spark as what I see when it comes to nakikita ko yung sila, at that time, sila Kim, sila Vice, parang love na love talaga nila yung ginagawa nila. It's not that I was lazy, but I felt like kulang siya ng love for what I do. So, I started coming to Cebu. Whenever I visited my family, nakikita ko itong mga sideline ng dad ko that were parang na-stop na siya. So, parang, what are these machines? And then, I started tweaking it. And ito yung story ni Light Panel on how it got started. May mga machines nandito sa bahay, sa factory na hindi ginagamit. It was just on the side. And I started, parang it's something new. It's something, can I take over and I experiment on this since this is not something that you're pursuing? Yung dad ko was like, okay, give it your best shot. So, I never took a jump. I was always trabaho sa Manila, and every time I came back, I'll do some experiments, and while we're waiting for that experiment to have results, balik na naman ako magtrabaho, and hanggat sa umabot siya na, uy, parang may potential na to. Okay. Now I can commit to saying, okay, stop na ako sa pagiging artista, and then eto na yung move forward ko. So, that's kind of like how I see the journey to be a little bit more seamless.
I think also when you are so unhappy with where you are, you also feel it in your core. Like kasi ako, when I was working sa company na kinuwento ko kanina, hindi talaga ako masaya. Yung tipong pagising ko, why is it Monday today? Like, ganun talaga yung feeling ko. Like, dread. Not the fault of the company, not my fault. It was just not a good match, diba? But I feel like if you feel that way, then that's already a wake-up call in itself. Kasi you also don't want to spend so much of your time. Our time here is limited, diba? On something that doesn't bring you happiness or joy. It fills you with so much dread. Parang hate na hate mo yung araw mo. So I think, if ganun na yung na-feel mo, wake-up call na yun in itself. You know already what to do.
You only have one life to live, so don't settle. The work part is a very, very big part in our lives. It takes so much time and effort. So dapat we are able to go to it fulfilled and like feeling like we are actually doing something that is significant, that is core to our purpose. And
there's a quote, I think, I forgot what show this was, but parang in France daw, people work to live. But in other cultures daw, like in the States, people live to work kasi they're working all the time nonstop. But I feel like it's not as simple as that. Because if you have that, if I work to live mentality, you're just using your work to fund your lifestyle, but you don't really like your work. Diba?
Yes.
I feel like sometimes it can be a mesh of the two. Like your work is a part of your life, like me and like you, and we enjoy doing it. And even if it takes us more hours than we are willing to commit, okay lang, it's part of it, diba? And we grow from it. We become better people for it. We learn more about ourselves for it. So it supports us. Parang meshed siya together. Hindi siya like one or the other lang.
Alam ko, ganito ako. Pag may trabaho akong ginagawa, tapos hindi ko bet, pero ginagawa ko lang dahil sa pera, usually, yung pera na yun, gagastusin ko.
Talaga?
Yung parang, sige na lang, gagawin ko na to kasi I don't like it, pero it's good money. And this was way before, nung nag-artista pa ako. Yeah. Like parang, sige, gawin ko na lang to. Okay, now I have this bunch of money and then I sacrificed so hard for it, I deserve it. So
you spend it.
I'm gonna spend it. So it typically happens, well, to me, like that.
And then when you like spend so much of your time on a passion project and you earn so little, it's so hard to spend that money. Do you get that?
Oo.
Me, I get that eh.
Oo, yes.
Oh my God, ang daming hours to put into this. Di ko talaga to gagastusin. This is gonna be for my child's college.
Sa akin, there are a lot of mga passion projects na ginagawa namin. And it really is, yes, it's important that you get commensurate to the effort and the skill set that you put in. But iba yung purpose mo sa pagtrabaho when the money is not the purpose. The work is the purpose itself. Iba yung mindset with you going into it.
You were also telling me a few days ago how it felt so nice that you're part of something bigger than yourself. Something like, if you're so passionate about something, like for example, your projects in real estate now, that are changing the landscape of, let's say, Filipino architecture, whatever. Like, you're making a difference, basically. And a lot of people tell you that. A lot of very important people tell you, Slater, you're making a difference. And it feels different. It feels so good to know that you're part of something bigger than yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Nakaka-fulfill siya to be part of a company that you believe in, to be part of a work na you know is making a difference in the world, na hindi ka alone.
At the end of the day, ganito, even sa office namin, sinasabi ko sa people working with us na even if you're a good worker, if it doesn't fulfill you, I'd rather you be happier somewhere else.
Yeah, totoo.
Gusto kong mas masaya ka pag mas makikita mo yung swak sa'yo.
Yeah, totoo.